Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. So today's video is about RAMSES, which is a native liquidity layer on Arbitrum. Basically, they are a DEX on Arbitrum and they're not even one of the top 20 protocols. Actually, they are ranking 37th regarding TVL on DeFi Llama. You can check that info. And basically, if you look at the chart here in the TVL, they're pretty much picking up some steam right now. They had some rough times through 2023, all-time lows in TVL after that first initial pump. Usually that happens in DeFi projects launch. There's a pump and then they slowly dump, or not so slowly, but yeah, eventually over time, especially in the bear market, they will lower the TVL substantially. But right now, we see them picking up some steam. TVL is very close to 20 million. And even the token price, as you can see, all-time high, it was $25 per token. And as of now, the entry point is still very low. It's at 2 cents. It's not the all-time low, but all-time low was a little under 1 cent of a dollar. You see there's double zeros before you can see like 8 or 9 showing up. So it was pretty much a little bit under 1 cent. And as of now, it's still at 2 cents. But looking at the TVL chart, if this picks up steam, it's expected for the token also to pick up steam, because RAMSES does have a very cool, innovative mechanism with their token in order to make it a sustainable protocol. So they're not your average DEX that you can farm the token and dump. They have some mechanics to just stop that, and that's what we will be talking about today. Taking a look at RAMSES Exchange, understanding how this token mechanism works, because it pretty much depends the working of these mechanics. That's what your APR and your earnings overall from the platform will rely on. So basically, also here on Arbitrum, we saw recently they broke the 3 billion market cap for the whole Arbitrum blockchain. So that's pretty big. And if RAMSES really has that capital efficiency leveled up to the next stage, and they're one of the best protocols when it comes to capital efficiency, there will be tremendous growth to be expected. So in my opinion, I think they are a very underrated protocol as of now. Like I said, they're ranking 37th in TVL on Arbitrum, but things might change because Arbitrum is pumping, and these protocols, that they're not just a random fork of Uniswap, for example. They're building something different, and they have the vision of building something different. And yeah, so you can see even with the jargon they use, VE33 incentives plus concentrated liquidity. That's not something that you see other DEXs. So yeah, that's the topic for this video. Let's move on and talk about those mechanics. After it, we'll just jump on into the dashboard of the dApp itself and take a look at what all this means, and liquidity pools, what are the options for users to earn with the RAMSES. So before getting started, by the way, full disclosure, I do not have any bag of RAM with me, but I will probably get some after I drop this video, because I'm really curious to see if this narrative that they have will basically pay out and convince more people to join into the whole ecosystem. And I think they have a very interesting and cool looking protocol going on. So yeah, that's what we'll be looking at on today's video. Now, how to earn with VRAM. So basically, what happens when you provide liquidity to any DEX is that you'll be getting paid in the native token, and you also get a percentage of the fees generated through the trades that people are doing on the DEX. That's why it's very important to know not only the APR but also the volume of the pair that you are providing liquidity to, because those are the things that will determine how much or how little you will earn from providing liquidity to any given protocol. Here with Ramses, it works differently because those fee percentages you don't get paid out just because you're providing liquidity. When you provide liquidity with Ramses, basically it's the ground layer of earning. It's a very bottom. You have to have some skin in the game or invest some more into the protocol in order to unlock different layers, as I like to call it, of revenue. So providing liquidity is just a bottom layer, and you will earn the minimum APRs with that. They have really good APRs. We'll take a look at that later on in the video. But in order for you to get there, you have to stake your RAM. And that's what they call VRAM. How to earn with VRAM. So basically, let's go from right to left. LP staking. This is the basic. You provide liquidity for your desired pools, and then you will earn weekly rewards in RAM. So this is the ground layer with the Ramses. You get your rewards weekly in RAM when the epochs come to an end. Epochs is what they call the weekly cycles of the DEX. There's a timer on the DApp, etc., telling you when the epoch will flip. Now, how to earn with VRAM. You can lock your RAM to create VRAM, and your RAM you can buy it straight away from the DEX, or you can earn it by providing liquidity to desired pools. So second step here, you can use VRAM to vote for your favorite pools, and the third step will earn you weekly rewards. Simple as that. So you need to stake your RAM in order to create this VRAM, and that's what will allow you to vote. So you cannot vote with RAM. RAM is basically, if you want to cash out, you cash out with RAM. If you want to earn more, you have to lock RAM and just go from there and turn it into VRAM. We'll also take a further look into that later on. But let me just show you here this screenshot I took from their doc. So pretty much this diagram shows it all. So in this diagram, you can see how the voting mechanism works. And remember, for you to vote, you need to just stake some RAM and turn it into VRAM by staking. And through the docs, if you care to read, you will see that they also call it VNFTs at some point here on the vesting. You see that it's vesting VNFT management. It's the same as VNFTs, or it's the same thing as VRAM. It's different words for the same thing. So here with this diagram, what can we take from it? So basically, you have the protocol Ramses, and there's liquidity providers which provide liquidity to protocols and also allow traders to trade through Ramses with low slippage. When traders trade, they generate fees, and when protocols want liquidity to be provided, they will pay out in bribes. Both fees and bribes will be directed to RAM voters. So right now, if you are providing liquidity, you're here at the bottom, you'll be earning the minimum APR from the RAM emissions that are being sent to those pools. But when you turn your RAM into VRAM, now you're unlocking two other levels of earning. You'll be getting the fees from the traders paid to VRAM holders or voters, and you will also have protocols will want their liquidity to be deep. That's the nature of it, because it will give users more trust into the protocol, and traders more trust to trade for the protocol because with the protocol tokens, because if the liquidity is deep, well, there's more trust into the whole thing, and that's how it works. So if you're a VRAM holder, you'll be getting, on top of your LP RAM emissions, you'll be getting fee from traders and bribes from protocols. Usually on other DEXs and yield farms, these fees are just paid out also to liquidity providers. But in here, if you want fees, you have to have some skin in the game. And how do you get that skin in the game? You'll have to turn or lock your RAM into VRAM. And there's different timelines that you can choose, like from 1 week to up to 4 years. but that will allow you to turn your RAM into VRAM. And basically, this is the backbone of RAMSES. All right, so let's move on to the bribing part of it. Now, this is also a fundamental aspect of the V33 DEX model, which is the inclusion of bribing as a core feature. So there's two types of bribes within RAMSES. One, voting bribes, and the two is going to be gouge bribes. So vote bribes basically is when users and protocols, usually it's going to be protocols, but users can also pay out bribes to voters, and that will allow them to influence people or users to allocate emissions to specific token pairs. In exchange for their votes, the briber receives a proportionate distribution of the bribes. This mechanism allows stakeholders to shape the allocation of emissions according to their preferences and strategic interests. So when you get bribes for your votes, you will be directing more emissions for the pools that you vote on. Usually, you will choose to vote more emissions to be deployed on the pools that you provide liquidity because you want to earn more. And yes, the second type of bribe here is the gouge bribes. So in addition to that we just discussed, tokens can also be directly offered as bribes to liquidity provider stakers. So just for the single fact that you're providing liquidity to some pools, if you are staking with those pools, you can get tokens to be directly offered to you, and that's basically that's an incentive that they are giving you and other users to grow the liquidity in specific token pairs. That's what we were looking at here when the protocols offer bribes to VRAM voters. So pretty much this is how bribing works also in RAMSES. So you see they work different from what a typical DEX usually does. And finally, the last thing that this mechanism brings us is the LP staking. So in the RAMSES model, LP providers do not earn swap fees. Remember what we just discussed. LP providers here are just at the bottom level of earning. They'll have the minimum APRs, and also fees from swaps won't be paid to them. Instead, 100% of the fees will go exclusively to VRAM holders. So you see the importance here of turning RAM into VRAM, and by doing that, supporting the protocol. And that's where the whole jargon of V33 comes into play. It just means vote as crowd, and the 33 is just a reference to game theory, and by that 33 means that if you do play according to these rules, everyone wins. You win, other users win, the protocol wins, everyone wins. So 3-3 is the optimal game theory to be applied in order for RAMSES to be successful and everyone involved comes out at the top winning. So basically that's how the mechanism of RAMSES works for people to unlock multiple levels of earning with it. So there's also some reference here to the V33 tokenomics, and they tell us how Andre's work from Solidly inspired them, but this is more on a side note. I'm not gonna spend some time here explaining you all of this. I want to make the video as straight to the point as possible. So it's also a low-fee hybrid automatic market maker. So yeah, for the most part, that's what I wanted you to take from here, is all those things about bribes and votes and turning VRAM or turning RAM into VRAM. Also, for the partners, they have tremendous partnerships in place, and some of them are not yet even here. These must have not been updated, but yeah, they have really big and renowned names in DeFi partnering with them, and including Frax, for example. Frax is also a big partnership that these guys came up with. So yeah, I highly suggest you to take a look into RAMSES Exchange yourself and see how it works. So let's go into the app and from there see in practical terms what all these things that we have been talking about translate to. All right, so liquidity, the tab for liquidity here will show you all the pools that they have ongoing. You have a minimum APR and you have a max APR. The minimum is the whole LP provider thing I was telling you about, where providing liquidity is the base layer. So when you do that, you are looking at a minimum 17.8% APR for this stable coin pair. And if you want to look at the maximum APR, and if you want to take that, you need to have enough amount of VRAM for you to just 2.5x up to 2.5x your APR, because that's the whole point of having your RAM turned into VRAM. Here on the dashboard you will see if you create VRAM to start earning voting rewards, and earning voting rewards means fees plus incentives. It's the whole thing of the traders' fees generated by the trades and the protocol's bribes. And also will be able to boost your LP rewards up to 2.5x. So that's the maximum boost that you can have on your APRs. Then you have your pools and your SD positions. And yeah, by the way, SD is the single staking. It's also a really cool thing that they have. Not all dexes offer us the option to just provide liquidity to one single asset, or with one single asset to some liquidity pairs, and these guys allow it. So if you wanna, like for example, deposit with Ichi, that's also one of the partnerships that they have. Ichi is another protocol where people can lock their deposits in vaults and earn interest, and I guess they're depositing on Ichi here through Ramses if you choose to. But look at this APR for wrapped ETH, triple digits for a blue chip asset. That's just insane. And then there's also stable coins, and depending on the vaults that you're choosing, the APRs will range. For example, these wrapped ETH here will have only double digits, but still, if you're looking at the blue chip single asset staking pool for ETH, 22%, it's huge. Um, Still, but in comparison, of course, people will more likely than not jump onto this 177% APR. And then there's ARB, another blue chip with 137% on this pool. It depends on the pool. As you can see, there's also an ARB pool here with 2.21%. That's not appealing at all, I would say. But yeah, so you have a lot of choice, and very, very good ones. Look at this USDC APR ranging to 112%. So I guess for like I said, I haven't tried out the platform yet, but I guess that for us to get these maximum APRs here, we'll also have to have a substantial amount of VRAM in our position in order to maximize these to the most. So yeah, that's what I think it's needed. So let's move on and now switch up here for voting. So basically the vote will show you how you can earn from bribes with the ability to turn your VRAMs or vote with your VRAM. So let's take a look at this CL pool, Ramses considered liquidity for ETH ARB. So blue chip pair, very strongly correlated, ETH and ARB. ARB is a layer 2 of Ethereum, so strongly correlated, and for each swap there's a 0.05% fee, and that fee will be paid to VRAM holders, obviously. Now let's take a look at the rewards estimate. So per 1,000 votes, voting on this pool will earn you per 1,000 votes $4.35, and this will fluctuate depending on how many people vote and how much you vote, of course, also. And there's the total votes, the total number of votes, and the total percentage that number corresponds to. And if you just sum all these votes that you see on these different pools. You'll have 100% of the voting power from all the users, of course. So yeah, look at the pools that are paying the bigger rewards. And for example, this Wrap Bitcoin ETH pool is paying per 1,000 votes almost $10, which is paying substantially more than we can get on many other pools here. So this is something that you can then take advantage of and just design your strategy around. But again, it's one of the other earning layers that Ramses offers to users. Okay, you have your voting percentage here that you can choose. You can click max and go max. It's up to you. So um, let's take a look at XRAM. XRAM, I'm not going to delve too much into it. I just wanted to give you the fundamentals of turning RAM into VRAM, but basically XRAM allows you to convert it, and this is a payout also from depositing in incentivized pools. You can get your XRAM and then convert it to VRAM or instant exit, which means I'm going to show you here. So if you want an instant exit, you get paid in wrapped ETH, and that's a good move from Ramses, because this will take some selling pressure out of the RAM token itself. But if you want its instant exit, you'll get this 1x RAM turning into 0.75 RAM. So you get a, in practical terms, you get like a 25% fee or tax when you choose to exit to RAM just instantly. If you convert to VRAM, you get, I believe you get the maximum. Yes, exactly. Converting XRAM to VRAM will automatically max lock your VRAM, and max lock will be locking your VRAM during 4 years. But you'll get the one-to-one conversion, which is the most optimal. So Ramses is definitely a platform which will reward you if you want to just support the platform for real and just lock your funds for longer periods of time. So let's go here on the dashboard, because I want to show you how basically you can create VRAM, and you can create it through other methods when you go and provide liquidity also. There's also the button there for you to do so. But let's go here and let's use one RAM as an example. So if you have one RAM, you can lock it into one VRAM, and you can lock it for a week, a month, 1 year, 4 years. 4 years is the maximum. But look at the VRAM power. So if you lock it for 1 week, look at the power. You have 2 zeros, 48. If you lock it for a month, now the VRAM power is going up. And if you lock it for a year, now you have 0.25 for one RAM locked. And if you go for 4 full years, you get all ones. So the maximum power of VRAM will be achieved if you lock RAM for the longest period of time. And if you have it with more power, you will earn more rewards. Okay, so it's not just as simple as converting RAM to VRAM. You need to convert it also or lock it for longer periods of time for that conversion to be at the most powerful that you can choose from. So that will also, of course, impact the earnings that you get from the platform. And that's it basically with Ramses. Now let's take a look at the analytics. One thing I think they should switch up, they should have like a analytics link directly on their on the DEX itself. And another thing I didn't mention, you see there's this ETH value here. You also see the RAM value, and also the epoch flip timer will be shown here. So as you can see, there's 2 days, 41 minutes going for the next flip, which is a cycle of every week, that happens every week. So let's take a look at the analytics just before wrapping up the video. So pretty much We had a 24-hour volume for a little over 31 million. Now it's just switched up. Oh yeah, just because I pressed here. So we want for 24-hour volume for the last day. So yeah, 31 million, over 31 million. That's pretty significant for a protocol which is not even on the top 20 ranked on Arbitrum, I would say. And the TVL locked here on the V2, which is a concentrated liquidity version of Ramses, is over 13 million. So they have really high APRs also. We didn't dive all that much into the pools that they have to offer, but if you take a look for yourself into those, you'll see there's some really nice pools, especially these top ones, ETH, ARB. These are paying out triple digits APR. If you are able to go maximum, it's going to be very, very rewarding. That's something I will test for myself, highly likely. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I haven't tested the platform yet. I only did my research about it for the past few days, and hence why I'm making the video today. So yeah, look at the pools. Top CL pools, concentrated liquidity pairs are going to be ETH, ARB, blue chips, ETH and the stablecoin, ARB and the stablecoin, and these are the ones generating the highest volume. So potentially these are the ones that will hand out the bigger rewards. And remember, not all LP providers will get this. Only the VRAM holders will get a cut from these fees generated for the past 24 hours. Um, or for the past week, or for how long you are providing liquidity with Ramses. So that's what I had for you for today with Ramses Exchange. A really cool protocol. I might be able to bring some more videos about it in the future, because they have, like I said, a ton of partnerships, very interesting ones, and one of them is the INIAD. I'm gonna save that to another video, but they have a ton of cool partnerships. INIAD, also Gamma. You have here even the link for INIAD, which will also give you another utility for RAM. You can lock RAM with INIAD also, and also get some nice boosts to your APR if you do that. And since we're here, why not take a look at what the pools are offering here. So look at this pool, ARB, with a stablecoin USDC. There's a million in TVL. There's the maximum APR that you can get here, 351%. But even the minimum, even if you just provide liquidity, this is triple digits on a blue chip and a stablecoin. That's pretty substantial. And then there's even the incentives paid in Arbitrum. So protocols also can provide those incentives, just to incentivize people to deploy liquidity and make these pairs more robust. ETH ARB, it's paying max triple digits of 225%, but even the minimum, I mean, almost 100% on two blue chip assets. It's crazy. I really like what these guys are offering, the whole concept, the whole narrative, and they have really interesting APRs, to say the least. So that's what I want to share with you about Ramses Exchange, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.